Do you ever wonder what makes a film good or bad? Does it ever happen to you while you're in the theater? That's exactly what happened to me when I was watching Everything Everywhere All at Once. Hollywood has been spitting out such absolute garbage lately that I honestly don't know if anything is or can be any good. So when a movie comes out that has an original and creative idea and doesn't spew a message or agenda, I'm kind of shocked by it. I sat in the theater and thought to myself, is this really good? How can I even tell? My palate has been ruined. That's actually kind of why I undertook this little adventure into the world of YouTube. I want to explore what makes films good and what makes them bad. And I'm glad I came across this film because it makes the case for really good cinema. The film tells the story of Evelyn, who immigrated from China and runs a laundromat with her husband and daughter. Her life has become boring and monotonous, and she's basically just going through the motions. But through a chance encounter, she's able to see a different variations of herself that will lead her on a path of not only self-discovery, but also her long dormant and deep-seated love for her family. She has normal, everyday problems that people face every day. Her business is tormented by the IRS, her daughter is rebellious all in a ruse to get some attention, and her relationship with her husband has grown stale and boring. These are issues facing countless people, which is what makes this character so accessible and relatable. You really see yourself in her shoes. That's one of the main issues in Hollywood today. Writers don't write relatable characters. They think that by casting a racially diverse actor or actress, that makes their characters automatically relatable, and that's just not the case. When Evelyn has to go in and argue her case with an IRS woman who is also quite miserable herself, the story takes off. An alternate version of her husband shows up from somewhere else in the multiverse and tells her she's destined to save the multiverse. This call to adventure is rebuffed by Evelyn, who says, "No time, too busy," in a very dismissive way. But when other nefarious characters begin to show up from other parts of the multiverse, her old husband shows her how to tap into the multiverse and learn to fight. As the story progresses, we see Evelyn learning to tap the abilities and powers of her alternate selves in order to fight the minions of Jobu Tupaki, who is out to destroy the multiverse through a weapon called the Everything Bagel, a sort of black hole for all realities. What a wacky concept, but it is so creative and imaginative. Who knew that a black bagel could destroy the multiverse? I'll really have to be careful next time I go to my local bagel shop. The more she sees of her alternate selves, the more she realizes all the opportunities she's missed in her own life, and the more she questions the value of her marriage, her family, and even herself. Throughout her adventure, she grows stronger and more capable. She grows to value what she has as she learns who Jobu Tupaki is and her true purpose. In the end, Evelyn is able to defeat Jobu Tupaki by learning about herself and learning to enjoy life. So often we can fall into ruts that are hard to get out of. Some people never even know that they're stuck in ruts in the first place. Evelyn discovering how her choices actually matter in the grand scheme of things was a great resolution to the film. It felt very satisfying to me as the viewer, as it was a lesson I could apply in my own life. It's important to value what we have and to not take it for granted because we never know when we can lose it. Like Evelyn, we have to learn to fight for what we have. We have to fight for life because that's what ultimately makes it worth living. Everything Everywhere All at Once is not a movie that is to be taken literally. At face value, it's a wacky adventure and absurd nonsense. But that's not really the point. The film calls the viewer to look deeper at the meaning of relationships both within and outside of family and how our choices affect not only our own lives, but the lives of others. It's a bit like The Matrix, where Neo so succinctly said, "The problem is choice." Choices affect everything around us. And the message of the film is to be careful with what choices we make so that we don't alienate the ones we love. At its core, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a story about the redemptive power of love and self-sacrifice. These are themes that have long been forgotten amidst the mess of narcissistic, woke storytelling that Hollywood has been spitting out over the past decade. It's a story of a mother's relationship with her daughter, and it's told in a poignant and allegorical way, ultimately making it more meaningful. Movies that go deeper and tell multi-layered stories tend to stand the test of time. Even now we can see that audiences have really responded very well with this film and rewarded it in droves. I can't remember the last time a film was in theaters for so long. What makes this film so creative is how well the story weaves together different possibilities for its characters. The set pieces, however simple they may be, truly show off different aspects of the multiverse. Evelyn's alternate versions of a chef, a famous actress, and even a rock on a planet devoid of life showed off the writer's imagination. You truly don't know what you've lost until it's gone, and I'm glad we got imagination back with this film. I hope that this marks the beginning of a trend and resurgence. This film shows what a good script can do with a competent director and massive acting talent. Michelle Yeoh is absolutely outstanding in the role as she is able to shift between different versions of the character flawlessly. Ke Huy Quan is fantastic as her loving but incompetent husband and portrays a very caring character. Stephanie Hsu also did a great job playing the daughter and showed off her character's struggles that helped tie up the story very neatly in the end. It's truly been a long time since I've seen a movie that's so creative and inventive. The script pulls everything together in an emotionally smart, engaging, and satisfying story. I came out of the theater uplifted and happy. I had fun. That's what's been missing in Hollywood for so long. The writers and filmmakers have forgotten the central purpose of filmmaking, for the audiences to have fun. Films are windows to other worlds, other possibilities, and opportunities. That's what made this film so excellent. It carefully and meticulously crafted that window and showed everything, everywhere, all at once. That's why I give this film my wholehearted seal of approval. See this film. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more great content.